Hello and welcome to another episode of The Flying Reporter, and today all three of us are going to go through Britain's busiest airspace and cross the final approach path to Britain's busiest airport. This is my bald patch hider. Clear prop! To help with today's task, I'm joined in the cockpit by an air traffic controller of that airspace. Helena Hughes works for NATS at the Swanwick Terminal Control Centre. In the back is Bob, and we'll introduce him properly in a moment.
How's that for you, Bob? All right.
I can hear you both.
Yeah,
and,
good.
And
we can mute him here if he's annoying.
Right,
just press the crew
button.
Yeah,
that one.
I know a song that'll get on.
Hold on, this one. Yeah. That's that checked.
Yeah. Whilst I'm doing this, why don't you tell our audience who you are?
Hi, I'm Helena, and my main activity is as a terminal controller at Swanwick in Hampshire. I work Heathrow Special. I do Thames Radar and also Luton. Outside of that, I have been a flying instructor. I've got about 2,000 instructional hours, many in things like this.
So you can help me then if I forget what to
do.
Yeah.
And in the past, I've got a CPL, used to have an IR and an MEP rating. I was very indulgent at one stage and did a PPLH, but
is there anything you don't do, Helena?
I don't dance very well.
Let's shut the door now.
Okay. Hi, let's go.
Alright, let's take a look at our weather forecast today.
Helena is also a senior radio telephony examiner for pilots and an examiner for the Radio Operator's Certificate of Competence for Air-Ground Radio Operators. She might not be able to do the tango, but when it comes to RT, she's top of her game.
So Bob, how do you know Helena?
Well, I've been creating an app to basically allow people to master radio telephony through learning and practice. And I needed somebody who was much better at radio telephony than myself, because that's one of the reasons I started the app, as a task for myself to improve. So I asked around, and I found Helena online, who is a published author on the subject, as much more as she's mentioned.
You do work with Poolies, don't you?
Yes, yeah, I wrote Poolies VFR communications manual, and I'm in the process of updating the Q&A books for the APM series at the moment.
Oh. So you got the right person then, Bob?
I think I did, yes. It's all been really good. I've learnt an awful lot. We've got a fantastic app now available on iOS and Android, and there's a lot of depth and breadth of content that you don't find elsewhere, thanks to Helena.
Great. Well, we're going to talk some more about that later. But for now, enjoy the ride, Bob.
I will do.
Bob is a pilot, as he's mentioned, and we've given Bob another Sky Demon in the back so that he can watch us.
Okay.
Because as I said in the introduction, we're going to enter Britain's busiest airspace, the approach to Britain's busiest airport, one of the busiest airports in the world, in fact. And it's the airport that you control some of the airspace for.
Some of the airspace. So what the setup we have is we have dedicated Aero approach controllers who are dealing with the huge number of arrivals and departures at the airport itself. And then we have a small elite band of people who deal with all the other traffic trying to enter the zone, and it's our job to ensure that these other activities can happen without interrupting Heathrow.
So you're perfect to have on board as we enter that airspace today, and we've had a little brief beforehand. We've decided what kind of route we're going to try and tackle it from, and the reason why I might use this route is because of Farnborough's airspace, which can sometimes get quite busy, especially just recently. We've had a big air show there, the Farnborough show, and it would be quite useful to be able to cut that corner sometimes.
While those in the know about this route through Heathrow's Class D controlled airspace, I don't think it's published anywhere. Essentially, controllers will clear VFR traffic routing from the M25 Byfleet Bridge to Thorpe, which isn't even actually marked on the chart. It's the theme park at junction 12 of the M25. You'll then turn west to Ascot Racecourse before turning north again to the Burnham NDB, keeping to the west of the Heathrow inner area. The route is subject to level restrictions, and as I'm about to find out, it makes for quite uncomfortable flying in a single-engine Aero.
Follow Mike India Victor, previous departures routing out to the east side Godstone, runway 36, that's when calm, clear for takeoff.
Runway 36, clear for takeoff, Golf India Victor. Okay.
Golf Sierra Tango, request frequency 10 to Farnborough, 125.
Golf Sierra Tango, frequency 10 to clear, stop on security.
So, power's set. Temperatures and pressures are in the green, no warning lights. Airspeed's increasing. Rotate to 60. Golf India Victor's left the zone to the north, request frequency change. Heathrow Special 125.625.
Golf India Victor, frequency change approved, Scott Conspecurity.
Scott Conspecurity, goodbye, Golf India Victor. Heathrow Special, Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, request zone transit.
Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, Heathrow squawk 7030, QNH 1020.
Squawk 7030, squawk 1020, Golf Bravo Mike India Victor.
Golf India Victor, thank you. Identified northwest of Redhill by 5 miles. Report your altitude.
Altitude 2,000 feet, QNH 1020, Golf India Victor.
Golf India Victor is a basic service and pass your message.
Basic service, Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, PA28 Aero, Redhill to Redhill VFR. You have our positions 7 miles southeast of Ockham. 2,000 feet, request zone transit on the western side of the zone, please, Golf India Victor.
Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, you're cleared to transit the London control zone via the M25 to Thorpe, then west of the Ascot Burnham track VFR, not above altitude 1,200 feet.
Clear to transit the London CTR M25 Thorpe, and west of the Ascot Burnham track, not above altitude 1,200 feet VFR, Golf Bravo Mike India Victor.
Golf India Victor, correct. No observed traffic to affect.
Golf India Victor. Oh, well, that,
All good news.
Yeah. You cheated a bit, though, didn't you?
I might have warned them we were coming, yes.
Now, we'll get over this town and then we'll start coming down.
Cool.
Or we can slowly start coming down.
The thing we'll be looking for to ID Thorpe is obviously the amusement park.
Yeah. Now, it's given us not above 12, which is tight for this
Yes,
area. Do we
yeah.
fly at 12 or do we fly at 11 or 1,000? I know there's this take 2 rule, but we're kind of sandwiched here, aren't we?
We are a little bit.
Maybe 1,100?
Yes,
what do most people do?
Most people will try and hit 1,200
Yeah.
to be honest.
So we've got to watch for Fair Oaks traffic, which is over here.
Correct, yeah. But this routing keeps us outside their local flying area.
So we're going to follow that
That's
motorway up.
Ockham. Yeah, that's right. Expect. In fact, that's Fair Oaks. Brooklyn should just be,
That Fair Oaks over there?
I think so.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah, it's on the nose.
We just sort of, we fly IFR, the I
Follow Roads.
Yes. It's an oldie,
it's a special,
but a goldie.
it's a special rating.
It is.
You've got to go to the AA and...
I think I see the theme park. You see the water, there's a bit of a tower.
I can see a tower, is that
yeah,
part of
I
it?
think that's part of it.
We've got the benefit of you having done this before, so... does it look different now as opposed to on your map things that you look at all day
yes,
long?
Yes.
Is it nice to actually see the real world rather than the
actually, yeah,
electronic virtual world?
Yeah, nice treat to see. Well, our maps are pretty plain. We just have the airspace boundaries marked. The helicopter routes, obviously, in this part of the world, and some of the more frequently used landmarks, but they're pretty pretty plain, I think, apart from that.
So we're constantly looking out for places to land, and we've got to make a left turn shortly. So we've got Thorpe here.
Thorpe. So the next thing we need to try and ID is Ascot Racecourse, where the grandstand should
Golf India Victor.
Golf India Victor.
Once you're outside to the north, what's your intentions?
We're going to be routing to the east. We'll talk to Farnborough North and head back to Redhill. Golf India Victor.
Thanks, remaining outside the whole way.
Have fun.
Roger.
Okay, if we start our turn, just to ensure we stay outside the inner area. But there's the theme park, you can see the roller coasters and things.
So T's and P's are all good. We don't need a fuel change yet. Wouldn't probably do it at this height. Everyone comfortable?
Yes, all good to the back.
So Thorpe to Ascot's 282, so we've got that there.
I think that might be the race course just
yeah, I can see the grand, there's a modern building, isn't there?
That's it. And this is Virginia Water.
Yeah, if we stay south of these lakes, that marks the boundary, actually.
Yeah. So we're golden. Excellent stuff.
Yeah, we're constantly looking for places to land here.
Yes, it's
not many options. Not many options. I mean, well, there are places we could keep other people safe. We probably would end up feeling particularly good after landing on those trees there. But
I mean, that is the downside to this. You know, the levels have been particularly chosen so that they don't disrupt the arrivals or departures into Heathrow. And it doesn't leave too many options, as you say.
No, and I think to be fair, I think I wouldn't do this out of choice for that reason.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to not be able to get through Farnborough for some reason.
Sure.
Because this isn't comfortable at this height.
So just aim to the left of Ascot Racecourse, and if we go around that, we'll be northbound. The other alternative is to route to Bracknell, and you tend to get a little bit higher level, but it would still only be 1,500 as a maximum. Yep, Ascot Racecourse.
I'd land on that, it would annoy them, but...
but we'd win the race,
some tyre tracks down. Would we go over the jumps, though? That's the thing. Burnham, we're going to Burnham 352 next. So we can turn north round, the club will go up there.
That's good, yeah. And that's nice, we're avoiding the town as well, so that's...
In a helicopter, this would be fine.
Yeah.
Maybe in a Piper Cub, this would be fine. In a heavy Aero, with not much glide performance.
Yeah. Things should start to...
That's a bit better now. I'm starting to breathe again now.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so this is the one where we've got to make sure we're west of the track to the VOR.
So I'm just...
to the NDB track.
We've got the track in here. If I put that in... that should be Burnham there. That's... yeah, we should be fine.
So the good thing is we haven't been asked to... or we haven't been given a clearance limit of Burnham, which would mean that the Northolt part of the airspace would be active, which would mean a frequency change to them. And my colleague would be coordinating.
So you might get a hold at Burnham.
It's possible.
For Northolt, yeah.
Absolutely. If Northolt, it's the thing with special VFR, traffic-wise it's not very busy, but you're interacting with so many different other air traffic units that even if the frequency isn't busy, the controller is often working quite hard because we have Northolt, Heathrow, Heathrow itself. The Heathrow approach controllers might need some descent as well. We've got Battersea, we've got London City to deal with. So there's a lot of people to talk to, even if we're not talking on the radio, and of course Farnborough as well.
Yeah.
Once people leave the zones.
It's a busy part of the country, unfortunately.
It is.
T's and P's are all good.
And we should be able to see White Waltham off our left wing.
Should be right there. I see it, yeah. That's close, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's all, yeah. you have to be pretty sharp with your navigation, as you are being.
Well, I'm
to
helped
make it work.
by this. You know, in the old days, this would have been hard work.
Yes, indeed.
You know, you couldn't do this by stopwatch and headings, really, because you'd be in the wrong place before you knew it. So just coming up, Burnham's over here, rising ground here.
Indeed.
High Wycombe.
Yes.
I might ask for higher just as
Yeah,
we...
good, so.
Golf India Victor, request higher just as we leave the zone.
Golf India Victor cleared non above altitude 2,400 feet, leaving in 2 miles.
Not above 2,400 feet, Golf India Victor. So we want Farnborough next, which is Farnborough North. Do you know it?
132.8.
We're going to have to play frequency bingo with you.
Frequency bingo.
Because this is good. Right, Bob,
Oh no.
let's have a frequency. Ask for a frequency. The most obscure you can think of.
Okay. I mean, I can go Northern, Teesside
Oh.
Tower.
Come on, you've got to be fair. At least within a shooting distance of Heathrow.
Biggin Hill.
What was that?
Golf India Victor, you live in the zone. Nothing seen on radar
Hill.
to affect.
Biggin Hill.
Radar service
Oh,
terminates. Farnborough, have your
tower-
details.
tower
Reason claim the
approach.
squawk for identification and contact 132.8.
Leaving the zone, service terminates, and we're over to Farnborough 132.8, keeping the squawk, Golf India Victor.
Right.
Thank you.
Service terminates.
The service, that's a spoonerism. Service terminate, I'm going to be saying that now. Approach 129.4, tower 134.
405.
Yeah.
Oh,
405,
yeah.
that's
Oh,
true,
she's
yeah.
right.
Damn,
There we
okay.
are.
There we go.
Get, you've got
Mighty have fallen.
Yes.
Farnborough radar, Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, squawking 7030.
Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, Farnborough radar, basic service, London QNH 1020, squawk 5020.
Basic service, QNH 1020, squawk 5020, Golf Bravo Mike India Victor. Does that feel as if I was stroking your bum there? That was me trimming, by the way,
Oh.
before
Oh,
you
say I was-
filed an MOR against me.
Possibly the best offer I'll get today, though, to be honest.
Another air traffic controller bingo then. Let's think of another frequency.
Bravo Hotel Alpha India. request
South End
frequency
radar.
change to LQ 122.405.
Gosh, you're useless.
I am on a day. I'm on a day off. I'm not. I'm switched off.
130.780.
Very nice.
Echo Alpha identified.
You've been banjacked by the
Yeah,
8.33, haven't you? That's
I
the other
have.
thing.
Do you know, it's quite. I can. Battersea's Tower, I can remember the original one when I started. It's gone through 2 further iterations now. It's the oldest one I can remember, the new ones I have to read.
We are being cruel.
I know.
It was just that you were showing off earlier, listing all of these frequencies. We thought we'd have to put you to the test. So, Bob, I want to know a bit more about this app you created, which you did during lockdown, I think, didn't you? Was it a lockdown project then? Is that what sort of prompted it?
It was a lockdown project. I actually had to move in with my mum, who's got dementia, to care for her during lockdown.
Good morning.
So needed something to do, had an idea, and thought, well, I can develop an app to help people master radio telephony.
And what's it called?
Called G-UDRT, but in the form of an aircraft registration, so G-UDRT.
Gotcha.
Golf Alpha Delta basic
and
service, London QNH
What sort of, I mean, other than COVID and boredom, what was your other motivation for it?
Yeah, so I've never been a particularly proficient radio user myself, so I really wanted to get the opportunity to extend my own capabilities as well. And you know, I was the sort of pilot who would find, you know, if they were presented with some new novel RT, that a lot of my mental capacity would go on the radio, and potentially, you know, this is as a student, I would find my flying or navigation might suffer. So I wanted to become much more confident and much more competent, and really just be much more familiar with RT generally.
What does the app actually do then? So, if I was to go on and download the app, how would it help me with my RT?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's got quite a depth and breadth of learning content, which Lena has put together for us. And then beyond that, the main aim of the app is to allow you to practice dynamically evolving flights, so that you're not just learning by rote. Whether you're flying a circuit at the type of aerodrome you fly from or a long cross-country flight, it will simulate a fully focalised flight for you, and you have to do all of your roles while other traffic and all the ground stations are focalised and you're responding to them.
From Rochester to Redhill.
And what sort of scenarios does it go through?
Oh, the full breadth. So, everything from an engine failure to a small weather diversion, a delayed transit, and much more.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got different sections that relate to, and we've tried to sort of match it up to the syllabus that APPL would go through. So we start off with circuit work, go on to navigation with simple cross countries and build it all the way up to the long cross countries. Bob designed a synthetic world that has every permutation of airport you could think of. And then on to the more sophisticated things, as Bob said, like emergencies and what to do when things aren't going as you wish.
I think the idea as well is so that when you are actually flying, the RT is always there, it's just on the tip of your tongue. You've used it so often within the app, it's second nature, and you're not having to put that mental capacity to be thinking, how are you going to respond to this particular type of situation, this type of call?
Yeah, sort of rehearsing that muscle memory so it is there when you need to use it.
There's a charitable element to this as well, I think, isn't that right, Bob?
Yes, that's right. So both me and Elena, we're in this kind of same situation. We are carers for elderly parents with Alzheimer's. So we made the decision very early on that we should be supporting the Alzheimer's Society for all sales of the app. So 20% of all revenue that the app generates goes directly to the Alzheimer's Society. We are a registered partner of those, and we've already been able to give our first check over from the first month's sales, which has been fantastic.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, that's a reason to download it in itself. Golf Victor turning the final runway 36 to land.
Golf India Victor, runway 36, 7010 degrees, 3 knots, cleared to land.
Land runway 36, Golf Victor. Welcome back to Redhill, guys.
Marvellous, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, enjoyed that.
Beautifully done.
Well, thanks, guys. That was great fun.
That was great fun, yes. Very good.
It was really enjoyable. Busy, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's a lot to think about.
And I'm glad I've done that with you, because that really has helped me appreciate that's not an ideal route for an aeroplane like this.
No.
I think you wouldn't choose to do that unless you really had to. Personally, that's my personal opinion.
It's absolutely fair. Like you say, it's fine for helicopters and perhaps slower, lighter aircraft, but.
Thank you for coming, Bob.
Thank you very much.
Elena, thanks for your advice and all of the input, and thanks for all the work you do. And we will listen out for you on frequency.
Indeed. I've got the registration memorised now.
You know, these guys actually have a naughty book.
They got the naughty and the nice book.
Which am I going in the nice one?
Of course.
Oh, good for you. Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and fly safely. Bye-bye.